Part 6. The Test. Unlike the arena, this room stayed dark. Luke walked inside and stopped. No lights came on. Behind him, the entryway closed. Slow, warm breath passed over him as from enormous lungs. Luke shuddered.
Tell me who you are.
The something breathed, and Luke was suddenly talking.
Just please, I can't get out of
No, he was screaming.
Stop.
No, he was crying. No, he was on his knees, head spinning and hurting, shaking like a leaf, and he tasted blood. It sprayed as he answered, speaking without volition, and he could feel his grip on himself growing slick and difficult. Madness. He knew suddenly that this was madness, that if he didn't find a way to fight this off, he was going to completely lose his mind. Hurt to think, like his thoughts were sharp. Pain. Was all of this going to be pain? It didn't matter.
I have to save my brother.
His tongue was thick and his lips numb.
I have to save my brother. I will save my brother. Fuck you.
He used the expletive for the second time in his life. And just like that, it let up. Lights came on. It was an empty room. Whatever had been breathing on him was either gone or something he could not see. He stood slowly. His clothing was completely soaked through, and his thoughts still felt jagged. He took a step and fell back to his knees. Right. His body was reacting as though he'd run miles and miles without water, overheating and exhausted. Light spilled over him, a doorway. He crawled for it, then pulled himself up by the doorframe. He would not be prey. Everyone was waiting out there. They didn't seem impatient. How long had this taken?
Well, you made it through. Good on you, lad.
Luke stared at him like he'd never heard words before.
Go on now.
The butcher gripped Luke's shoulders and sent him down the hall.
Go where?
You'll figure it out.
He turned away.
Next!
Luke didn't want to know if anyone else reacted as badly as he did to the room of madness or whatever that was. Determinedly not leaning on the wall, which took up his focus, he followed the curving hall away from his fellow fighters, as if he could possibly stand toe-to-toe with any of them, and walked until he heard voices. The butcher was right. He figured it out. The dorm areas were at least clean, lacking the locker room odor he'd feared he'd find. Luke peeked and saw predators, powerful beings with their backs to the wall, eyeing each other warily, though not acting out. The layout was curious. Along each wall, columns of 3 cots just stuck out like odd mushrooms, stacking warriors like bread on shelves. There was nothing in the way of storage that Luke could see. Weapons simply sat on the floor or leaned by the cots. He couldn't detect a pattern of organization among the people. They weren't clustered according to visible size or species or anything else obvious. He swallowed. A few eyed him. No one seemed particularly moved by his presence. Along the way to the left was a slightly darker area, as if some unseen light had gone out there. The usual 3-cot-high mushrooms rose there, and he was fairly sure he saw 2 empty cots, so that's where he headed. The one occupied cot, on the bottom, held a human-sized man wrapped in a cloak like Luke, sitting there with his forearms on his thighs and his hands dangling down. They seemed like human hands, except for the left pinky finger, which... was that bone? Luke stared. It was wood, living wood somehow grafted into the tip of this man's finger. It had to hurt. It looked horrible. Staring was likely unwise. Luke walked to the side, studying the cots, trying to figure out how to climb without stepping on anything.
You can use mine if you need to.
The cloaked man had a British accent, which threw Luke for a loop.
Oh. Thank you.
The man looked up.
Fuck. They're letting kids in here.
Luke set his jaw.
I qualified.
He tossed his bag up, then tried to climb onto his new bunk without looking too ridiculous.
I know. But it shouldn't matter.
Don't be prey.
Fuck you.
Luke used that word for a third crazy time.
I don't think that would work.
What? What? Had he taken that literally? Maybe this wasn't the wisest place to lay his head.
What did you say?
The man sat up as though he'd forgotten Luke was there.
You said... Never mind.
Sorry, I wasn't talking to you. I talk to myself a lot. If that bothers you, you don't have to stay here.
Oh.
Does that make you crazy or not crazy? Because you know you're doing it. So...
There was a smile in his voice.
I hadn't thought of that one.
He paused as though listening.
Oh, very funny.
Weirder things had happened in the past year.
I don't mind if you talk to yourself.
He'd come from San Francisco, after all.
Glad to hear it.
The man lay back on his bunk below, swinging his feet up and out of sight.
Good luck, kid. You shouldn't be here.
There's no other way.
Silence for a moment. Another warrior staggered through in much the same shape Luke had been, shaking and shook, and Luke felt a little better. Then the butcher walked through the door.
Arthur Lester, it's time.
The man below Luke sighed and rose from his bed.
Arthur Lester?
Luke blurted like an idiot. The man turned and sort of looked at him, kind of to the right. His irises were a weird, abnormal color, almost gold.
What? Do you know my name?
Luke knew people were listening, but he couldn't help it.
Yes, Yes!
What?
Arthur Lester stood taller.
How?
Parker's partner had that name. It was an impossible coincidence.
No, Arthur.
Stay here. We'll talk when I get back.
Where are you going?
Training. If you recover quickly enough, you'll have yours later today. Keep your head down.
And Arthur followed the butcher out the door, rolling his wrists, evidently loosening up. It had been raw luck that this chosen bed would be above a supposedly helpful man. Luck that Luke deeply hoped he had not just used up. And the chances of this being that Arthur Lester... No, it couldn't be. Luke chose to accept that this was a stroke of luck, that his bunkmate would be kind, and let it go at that. It couldn't be that, Arthur. It couldn't. Could it? He lay flat on his cot, pleased that it was softer than the floor, and fell into an exhausted sleep.